Okay, guys, pretty good pit stops, fairly happy with them, decent times, and certainly no mistakes, which is always nice. Now, it is a home race of sorts this weekend, so I want you to ignore the sea of red, don't give in to the pressure, and keep up the performances, okay? What's that, mate? Yeah, cheers. I hadn't noticed I'm going a bit grey, had I? Hadn't had time to shave, though. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. We are at Imola today. It's the the Emiliano Romagna or whatever it is Grand Prix. It's an Italian Grand Prix, even though it's in San Marino and not called an Italian Grand Prix. So it's a home race. It's a home race. It's a big race, and let's hope that the boys are up for it. And let's hope that, having given the pit crew a little bit of praise, that they don't come back and yeah, stuff things up for us. But a little bit to catch you up on. We've got in the facilities here. We've gone and is it operate? No, it's a car development facility. It's not car development facilities. Let 1 second here while I figure out my way around my own headquarters here. Here we go. So the tour center, it's been upgraded. We're going to upgrade it again. The reason I've done that is because there's no monthly upkeep and we get extra money for, you know, for income. So eventually it is just going to pay for itself. So it kind of makes sense to do it. Now the weather center is not done yet. Another 23 days before that is level 4. I want this done as soon as possible because we haven't had a wet race yet. But when we do have, I don't think we have we? Maybe we have. I don't think so though. But so then if we, you know, if we get that that up, then when we do have a wet race, then we're going to have the most accurate information we have to determine when we're making stops. And a lap, as we've seen, you know, in real life and in the previous versions of this game, a lap can be the difference between finishing 1st and 10th almost, you know. So we really want to try and make sure that we're making the best informed decisions that we can. Then when I stuff it up, it'll just be my fault. I won't have anyone to blame, I suppose. Maybe we should leave it at level 4. But other side of that, there's not too much else to catch you up on. The car, we have the upgraded rear wing on both cars now, so Mick will have that advantage for this race. Let's hope he sees an advantage of that. Quick reminder, we are sitting 3rd in the Constructors. Now, the board wanted 2nd. We can see there they wanted 2nd. We're okay. We're doing okay so far. If we look at the drivers, we've got Gio there in 4th and Mick is in 8th. So we just need to be just that little bit more consistent perhaps. But Alonso is proving to be a problem because he is quite good. And he is the main reason why Aston Martin are ahead of us right now. But we'll just have to do as best we can and see where that leaves us at the end of the season. So let's go and have a look at the race here. The Imola circuit has always been one of my favourites. Now it is an ATA qualifying weekend. So that's the alternative tyre allocation. I think that's what it means, isn't it? So we're going to have less tyres to do things, and then qualifying is going to be Q1 will be hard, medium, Q2, and then soft on Q3 if you are unaware of what that means. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different for me, but hopefully I can adapt. Red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3 when it comes to qualifying. We can see the sections by speed there. There's only really the 2 low-speed traction zones. But yeah, it has a little bit of everything. It really is a good track. I kind of miss a little bit the old Imola, but obviously after the crash that took Senna from us, things had to change, didn't they? So that's. But I feel like they've adapted it quite well, to be honest, considering they sort of were slowing it down. Time considerations, we can see there it's still 20-second loss under a safety car, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. It's a one-stop essentially, and the car performance here we can see the or tyre performance, I should say. The soft tyre is, what's that, only about half a second faster than the soft tyre. So there's not a huge difference. The medium tyre looks to be the better one, but there's really not much difference between the 3 of them. So historically, Max Verstappen wins this one, and fastest pit stops is locked as well. So so there we go. Now don't worry about this powertrain usage. What I've done is I've used everything a little bit so that if we do have a bad qualifying or something, we can take penalties and just sort of make sure we have things in the bank. So yeah, ignore that to a point. I've done that on purpose. All right, let's go and have a look at what we're going to try and do performance target wise here. Reach Q2. I mean, we should be reaching Q3. Someone in the top 4 should be doable, shouldn't it? Let's hope so. Let's have a look here. Finishing position of in the top 4. Fastest lap. Let's go for it. If we get a soft tyre on late or something. Qualifying positions, 1 car in the top 6 twice should be doable, and we need 1 car in the top 6 in this race to meet that objective as well. So that all should be doable. Let's head off to Imola though and see what we can do. So confirmation of the weather, very much different to real life, where of course this race was cancelled, wasn't it? Because of that terrible weather they were having. But we're expecting a dry weekend, so do some free practice, and I'll see you for a hard qualifying one momentarily. Alright, so we have done free practice. Let's have a look at how we did. FP1, now we just did the whole session on the hard, so don't panic that you don't see us at the top there. It was 11th and 13th. Yeah, like I say, we were on the hards for the whole session, so there's nothing really to worry about there. FP2, we're on the mediums for the whole session, 5th and 6th, so that was a little bit better. And then FP3, we did a medium run and a soft run, just obviously we have less tyres to work with for this one. So it was 3rd and 5th, a little bit concerning perhaps that the Red Bulls on a medium tyre was still right up there. So yeah, we're not that far ahead of a few others behind us either. But then anyway, we got the job done. We've got a decent setup for both cars. Perfect for Gio, almost perfect for Mick. So yeah, let's go and do Q1. I won't bother showing it, even on a hard tyre. We should be comfortably through. Alright, so traffic was a bit of a disaster. We had to do a second run, but 3rd and 5th in the end, absolutely fine. Hard tyre out of the way, onto Q2 in the mediums. Alright, now we only get the one set of tyres to do this session on. Now, we are currently 3rd and 4th. We should be okay. In truth, we probably don't need to do a second run. But what I didn't want to have happen was the track evolving and then us be sitting in the pit lane whilst quick cars go quicker than what we could do. But let's have a look here at sector times. It doesn't look like there's too much. Russell's going quicker, Alonso's going quicker, and so is Ocon. So we might drop down a little bit here, but we're looking as though we should comfortably be through. Now we're on board with Giovinazzi, who might be about to get blocked here by a Williams. No, Albon gets out of the way nicely. So we have indeed dropped down. The Aston Martins are fast again. Look at that. And so Giovinazzi stays 4th. Mick Schumacher, who's behind him on track, he stays 5th. But we are comfortably through. So there we go, confirmation of that. Ahead of a Red Bull, which is nice, but those Aston Martins, that is troubling considering we need to finish 2nd, isn't it? So we can see the cars that have missed out there. No real shockers, I would say, so far. So let's go now to Q3 and the soft tyre. Okay, we are on board with Mick, who I'm thinking must have got blocked by traffic. I didn't really see it, but Giovinazzi is 5th, Mick is 9th currently. Now, both cars did their first lap on new tyres because we obviously couldn't use soft tyres beforehand, so my usual strategy of doing the first run on used tyres didn't work. Now we've got a green first sector from Mick, but not from Giovinazzi. Now does he have traffic? Not right now, but I don't know if he would have had something in that first sector, but Mick would come across it by now if he did. So not a great lap from Giovinazzi. He's looking as though it's going to be no better than 5th. But let's have a look here. Mick has done green. Can he move himself up? And, well, can we have an all-Ferrari 3rd row, which is possibly the best thing we can look for right now. Mick goes only 7th. So it's 5th and 7th at Imola. So there we go. That is the grid. Oh, Alonso is quick, isn't he? So is Stroll. They've all dipped into the 13s, which we didn't manage to do. So, yeah, we're looking as though we're battling Mercedes to be the 3rd fastest team here. But let's see if we can do something on strategy that just might get us ahead here. Now that is very, very marginal, isn't it? Now it says that the 2-stop is not what you want to do. So what if we do this, and then we always, if it's not looking like it's going to work out for us, we have the option of a soft tyre later in the race. Yeah, I'm very tempted to go onto this strategy. But I'm worried that we don't have the actual pace to be able to pull that off. But then if we're going to be on a hard tyre for no reason, I think we can say that's not an option. You're going to lose too much time on that. I wonder if this is maybe a way to go. And the thing is, if you do it this way, you're always going to have an advantage over the guys. I think if you're on this strategy, you're done because you're going to be too slow at the end of your stints. But if we were to do this, then you'd have a soft while everybody else has a medium. Then while they're on a hard, you've got the softer tyre again on the medium. So, okay, Mick. He loves a soft tyre, doesn't he? Let's see what he can do. So, you're going to have to push a little bit at the start as well, I think, mate. He's going to have tyre to burn. And then Giovinazzi, I'm not convinced that we're not going to end up with both cars on this, with a soft tyre on at some point, but we'll wait and see. A soft tyre at the end for Gio could be very effective. Alright, welcome back. Here we go. It's a home race of sorts. It is a home race, really, isn't it? So let's hope we can put on a good performance here. Qualifying was not exactly the plan. We're on board with Giovinazzi. Mick Schumacher has moved up a few as Giovinazzi got a little bit of a block there, it looks like, and has lost a position to Hamilton. And we will settle in. There's a part of me that thinks Mick probably needs to get let past here, doesn't he? But we'll let things settle down before we start playing around with things too much. What we don't want, of course, is to let Mick pass and then have... So what we might do is let's go to neutral. Let's try and get Mick past without letting him pass, if you know what I mean. I wonder if we even harvest him and see if that can get the job done for Mick. Come on, mate, you're going to have to make an overtake here. It should. I mean, this should be fairly straightforward for him. And there we go. So job done. We'll at least put him back onto neutral. Let's go and have a look at Gio. Oh, he did lose 2. That's exactly what we didn't want to happen, wasn't it? But yeah, we should be able to get that back fairly easily. We're a quicker car than the Alpine. It just makes life a little bit more difficult for Giovinazzi for a little while, but let's hope he can get it done. Mick is still within DRS range. DRS is, of course, active again now. So let's go back to neutral, and we'll look to ease Giovinazzi back past the. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Is it going to go to a safety car? No. What's happened there? Bottas is locked up, so he's a back marker in this one anyway. So we'll just try and get Giovinazzi past Ocon here, and then we will settle back in, and we've got Mick all over Stroll in front. Let's hope he can go and DRS him, although he's going to have a bit of a DRS train, it looks like. Here we go. This should be fairly straightforward. Oh, how's he not done that? That should have been fairly straightforward. Mick is all over the back of Lance Stroll up here, so we might need to look to ease him past. He's on a hard tyre, so that should be straightforward. Can we deploy and get up the inside here somewhere? We don't want to lose out any time here. He's not going to have DRS down the front straight, so we might need to bide our time here and just wait for that. Giovinazzi's battery is now empty. That should be fine as well. And come on, we've got to get this done. You cannot get stuck behind Lance Stroll on a hard tyre here. Come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. Ah, oh, Mick. Alright, well, we have to get him past, don't we? We've got to get him past. Alright, so this should be easy. We've harvested for the lap. So we've got a little bit to burn with DRS down this front straight, and we're still not able to get past, surely. And Giovinazzi is still stuck behind Ocon as well. Are we a little bit too draggy, I wonder? What is going on with our car here? We are stuck behind cars that we need to get past. That should be it. Soft tyre. Okay, so we're around the outside there. What sort of tyres is everybody on? So we're just stuck behind the two, or we was stuck behind the only two hard-runner tyres in the race. So that's a little bit unlucky.
No, guys.
But, yeah, we will look to move forward from here now. Alright, so Mick has caught the back of Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, a little bit of DRS, got quite close at the end of that straight there, just as we came back. So we'll harvest, and then we will look to get him past. Giovinazzi, unfortunately, is really falling away from the back of Stroll and Co. So there's a big part of me. The problem is that it's making the extra stop, isn't it, for Mick? Is he going to be quick enough to to make it work? But I'm looking at Giovinazzi back there and just falling away and thinking maybe we need to go and push these tyres a little bit, or maybe even make the call at the stop and go. We can sort of push harder on a medium and a soft. If we look at lap times, we don't need to keep deploying. We didn't get that done. If we look at lap times here, where are we? Interval lap times. He is doing 19.4s to Hamilton's 9. So he's doing the same sort of lap times. He's just dropped away a little bit. So maybe it's not quite as bad as it sort of feels there. we are dropping away from the back of Hamilton here, who we've maybe given a bit of a wake-up call. So, yeah, never mind. We got very close to the back of Hamilton, but he's disappeared again. Okay, I'm going to call this on Giovinazzi. He's way, way slower than everybody else. So what we're going to do is come in for a soft tyre while everybody else is on a hard, presumably, so we have a tyre advantage, and everybody else is on older tyres. We'll put the medium on. So that's what we're going to do with Giovinazzi now. Yeah, and hopefully it works for him, because if we go and have a look at the track map here, he's just been overtaken by Ocon. He's way slower than everybody else on track, so we just I think need to start and move him on along a little bit. So yeah, it'll change his strategy a little bit, and hopefully he'll stop going backwards. He's down to 9th now. Have we waited too long to do this? Okay, so Mick is in. He really did fall off at the end of that stint there. And Ferrari's back. The pressure of the home crowd did get to them. And in a race where we really did need to be putting our best foot forward in the pit lane, making extra stops, that is not going to get the job done for us, is it? So that is a big shame. Now, you notice the tyres are a little bit used. This is the set we used in qualifying. There was a part of me that thought, should we actually go into a hard tyre because of that? But, yeah, obviously we haven't done that. So Giovinazzi is now stuck a little bit behind these guys. We will try and deploy him past now that we know he is going to be coming in for an extra stop. What he's done is, of course, he's lost track position, hasn't he? So yeah, we've maybe come a little bit halfway house on strategy with him, and I should have just gone my initial instinct and thought that we need to get him in nice and early, and yeah, we could have been sort of up where Mick was maybe, but the soft tyre didn't really work for Mick, did it? Hopefully it'll work a little bit better at the end of the race, as we might get a move done there on George Russell. We do, and we've got Ocon and Stroll to come, but yeah, both cars need to get a move on now. Okay, so Giovinazzi is coming in for his stop. Hopefully it's not contagious. No, 2.5, so that's a little bit better. Now, Mick Schumacher has been the fastest car on track. He's a little bit of traffic right now, so yeah, there's a chance. Actually, there goes Mick right in front of us there, I think, as he tries to get a move done on Nico Hülkenberg. Around the outside, into the inside. Let's try a bit of deploy here to make sure we get this done. There we go. So that's Mick back up inside the top 10 with Giovinazzi not too far behind him now on his soft tyres. There's a big part of me that thinks maybe we need to go onto a hard tyre at the end, and we can sort of maybe look to push the hard tyre. Everybody else is sort of going to be eking it out a little bit. Even if we have the same compounded tyre, but we're able to push it, then that might work out into our benefit. But we'll wait and see. Everybody else is going to come into a hard tyre before we do, obviously, so we'll have a little bit of time to think about what it is we want to do. And yeah, so we'll like I say, we'll have a think about things, but it's not I don't know how this race is going to play out. The tyres seem to be getting eaten alive. We had no pace on a one stop with Giovinazzi. We didn't really have enough pace on a two stop with Mick at the start. But we'll wait and see. There's a pit stop issue for Alonso. Now let's see where Mick comes out in relation to those top three, as some cars in front of us have nicely got out of the way. So we're ahead of Perez right now. Hamilton is flying on his tyres, and we're 4 seconds off Stroll, who leads. Oh no, we're not. That's the intervals. We're 23 seconds, so we're about 10 seconds off the lead. Now, we weren't expecting to win this race anyway, but well, let's see how this plays out. I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm interested to see. Alright, this strategy is really not working for Mick. So we're coming in, we've changed onto it. We're going to go onto a hard tyre. He'll be able to push it harder than everybody that's on it now. And yeah, he was back to, I think Gasly or someone just got past him. Was it Ocon? I can't even remember now. But anyway, so he goes down to 14th. A little bit of a quicker stop for him there, which is good. Now, what I said, what he can do, though, is he'll be able to push this tyre harder. And yeah, we just need to see where that brings him out. Giovinazzi is doing a decent job. He's still got DRS on the back of Perez here. or has he just, in fact, lost it? He may have just lost it. So that's done his race a lot of good, being able to get towed along by a Red Bull for as long as he was. Now, if we look at everybody's tyres here, you can see there that they're all going to be really struggling. Mick has got a good tyre advantage over them, so we'll see exactly if he can get back to points, hopefully anyway. Giovinazzi, we'll see what happens with him. He's still got a little bit of life left in these soft tyres, excuse me, of his. And then he will go on to a medium. I am very tempted to stick him onto a hard as well and let him go hell for leather, but I think a medium might be a better way for him to go, given that he's already going to have a tyre advantage over everybody anyway. Okay, we are coming in with Giovinazzi this lap. Now, what I've decided to do is put him on a hard tyre as well. He would not have a new set of mediums. And Mick Schumacher is doing decent lap time, 17.4s. Stroll is the fastest car on track, doing a similar time. Now, Stroll has just eaten into East and he was caught and passed us really, really quickly. Now, fingers crossed for a good Ferrari stop here. It is. Excellent work, boys. And let's see where he's going to come out. Is it going to be in the points? It should be fairly close. If not, Gasly did just go past, so we're out in front of Ricciardo. I hope. Looks like we are. And yeah, we can really go to the end here, and we shouldn't have any problem getting the hard tyre there. So, excited to see what we can get out of Giovinazzi here. As for Mick, he's all over the back of a Williams. So let's try and deploy him past if we can. We don't want to waste too much time here doing this, but equally we don't want to waste deploy either. So let's wait for the main straight. And I wonder, actually, we should be able to get this done even with a harvest if we push a little bit of fuel, because he's not going to have DRS and we are. And we're going to have a fresher tyre. And then we might be able to save a little bit of battery power. That's not worked, has it? Oh, wait, it has. Right at the last minute, that has worked. So excellent work there. So he's chasing Lando Norris now. And Giovinazzi in 10th is chasing Pierre Gasly. Alright, so I don't think we're going to do the fastest lap. We had a bit of a push lap there to try and get it, but Gasly just got in the way at the end. But we've got past him, which is absolutely fine. And we'll just maybe back off those tyres a little bit. What sort of lap time did we do? A 1:17.4 compared to the leader 1:17.8. Now that was with a fair bit of ERS being used, but a 1:17.4 for Mick as well. So we are the fastest cars on track, less Stroll. Stroll is absolutely flying. Where has this come from for him? We have the best tyres on track as well. 15 laps to go. Let's see how far we can get these red cars up. Okay, so 10 laps to go. We have Giovinazzi all over the back of K-Mag. This should be easy. We've got Mick has got past Lando Norris up into 12th. He is catching Ricciardo at a rate of knots. If we look at some last lap times here, 16.4 for Giovinazzi. That was, of course, DRS assisted, as we just saw. And then Mick at 17.2 as well is, as I say, catching. We are the quickest cars on track. It's just whether we can make up for the extra pit stop that we've done. 10 laps to go. We should get Russell. We might get Ocon we might get Hamilton if we get Ocon, I suppose. But yeah, it's difficult to say this race is going to be anything other than a bit disappointing. We'll send Giovinazzi on full attack. We could probably look to do something similar with Mick. Mick's a little bit more marginal to get to the end. Yeah, so we'll wait and see there. Is he going to get past Denny Rick into turn 1? Not quite yet. But he should get that done in a lap or two's time. Fingers crossed. Alright, so here we go on Denny Rick. This should be, Mick, straightforward, please. It really should be. We just can't get it done. Alright, we've got a bit of battery power, so let's just try and ERS our way past. We cannot afford to sit behind an AlphaTauri here. Move up the inside, and there we go. Job done there. And we can go on after Gasly now for that final point. There we go. And Giovinazzi, who is going hell for leather, is closing down George Russell, and in fact is probably just a little bit too far back to get it done this lap. But he should get it done next lap. And there's still 6 to go. Can he close down Ocon, who is closing down Hamilton himself, and get back to a top 5 finish behind the Red Bulls and the Aston Martins, which is probably the best what we could hope for today. yeah, we'll just see. I don't want to waste deploy here because we're going to get him down the straight. So, if anything, I wonder if we try and harvest. And he's a sitting duck. I mean, this is it. This is what was always going to happen at the end of the race. Everybody on their older tyres, and we've been able to just sort of cut our way through. So harvest hasn't really worked, so we'll just undo that good work there and deploy, and we should get him, if not into the hairpin, then certainly up the straight, up the inside. It should be simple from there, and there we go. Schumacher moves past Gasly. Oh, hang on, Schumacher moves past Gasly. Is that into turn 1, DRS assisted? Yes, it is. So Schumacher's got himself back to the points now as well. How much further up can he go? I guess we're going to find out. Nicely done. Alright, so Giovinazzi is coming around to start his second last lap. We can see in front of us Hamilton and Ocon. We are catching them at over a second a lap. Are we going to have enough time? It's one of these where we might get there. I'm not sure that having got there, we are going to be able to get an overtake done. We really do need to get fifth here. Now, Mick is closing down similar sort of speed. He's closing down Magnussen. Now, he should get Magnussen. That's him there in a slower car. That shouldn't be a problem. And, of course, on all the tyres as well. But Giovinazzi is the one. We really, ideally, would like him to get past these two. Now, Hamilton is just massively struggling. We are going to get DRS. Can we get a move done into turn 1 on somebody here? Can we get them both? Not quite there. All right, just deploy. Use what you've got. Deploy. And see if we can get a move done up the inside of Ocon there, around the outside of Ocon there, up the inside here. All right, there's one. We're in a little bit of petrol trouble. We need to make sure we finish. There's another one. Oh, he's not quite been able to make that one stick.
Here, we've got a yellow flag.
And we've got a yellow flag. Multiple cars in a crash. Is this anything that's going to move us up the field?
The Ferrari.
Oh, have we? Were we the crash? We were the crash, were we? So that's what has slowed us down.
I imagine their confidence will have taken
now, are we going to minor front wing damage? Ignore.
Double the lift off for the moment.
Yeah, that doesn't worry us. Alonso has won his second race, which is devastating. Absolutely devastating for our chances of winning the Constructors, or getting second in the Constructors. But damage wing or not, it is... Now, did Hamilton get a penalty there? Did Hamilton get a penalty? Can we get Mick past K-Mag into the last corner? Go on, Mick! Go on, Mick. Has he done it? Has he done it? He's ahead of him. Mick Schumacher. Oh, it's right there. It's a tie. It's a tie. He's out of petrol as well, but it's a tie. So how do we get 10th out of that? I don't understand. We're going to find out momentarily, but we were in front. Is there a count back? I don't understand how that works. Well, anyway, Alonso has won, which is not good news for us. Giovinazzi has got 5th. Yeah, so Hamilton did get a penalty for the contact. So we got that in the end. And Mick Schumacher, oh, he was, no, look at that. He was that far away from getting K-Mag. So, did a 2-stop work? It probably did in the end for Giovinazzi, but not for Mick. Which is strange to say, but Giovinazzi held position, whereas Mick dropped back. And I wonder if the difference was putting Giovinazzi on that soft tyre in the middle stint, where he could sort of make up time with everybody else on worse tyres, whereas Mick used the soft at the start, maybe wasn't able to make the most of it. But not a great race for us, you'd have to say. Antonio stays 4th in the drivers, with Mick staying 8th. And in the Constructors, well, we've lost a massive chunk of points there to Aston Martin. And it's already looking as though it's between us and Mercedes for 3rd. I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything about Aston Martin. They're absolutely flying right now. The pit stops. We still don't get any points in the pit stop competition. We were not... I mean, we did some decent stops. So what went wrong with this one? It's going to tell us... tightening the tyres is what went wrong there. So, yeah, really, really close, but still not able to get any points in the pit stop competition. So we'll keep improving, hopefully. But anyway, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I did try to give Mini some practice time. I can't because he can't race in Formula 1. So that whole thing has backfired on me massively, and he's now another year away before we can call him in. But anyway, an exciting race, if not a successful one. It goes next, so good thing that was an exciting race. I'll see you for that one. We will. Well, it's only quick turn. It's at 4 days, so unlikely to have anything new on the car. But you can see we've got new parts in the works, and they'll be with us as soon as we can get them on the car. So yeah, there we go. Take care.